He never meant for any of it to matter. On the night everything changed, the sky above the school courtyard was bruised purple, and the cold December air carried the sharp laughter of boys who thought they owned the world. In that moment, Ryan Hayes didn't know that one stupid dare, thrown at him by friends who lived on cheap thrills and cruelty, would unravel every assumption he had ever made about himself. He didn't know that the girl standing a few steps away, quiet, unnoticed, tying her hair as if she was trying to disappear into the wind, would break him open, rebuild him, and become the one person he wouldn't be able to forget. All he knew was that his friends wanted a show, and he thought he was too tough to walk away from a dare. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected connections, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support means everything. Ryan was the kind of boy who lived loudly, who moved through life as if nothing could touch him. Captain of the basketball team, adored for the wrong reasons, and surrounded by people who clapped at all his shallow victories, he coasted through senior year wearing confidence like armor. But inside, he was hollow, drifting through days that looked perfect in pictures but felt empty in silence. That night, with the cafeteria lights glowing behind them, and his friends shoving him forward, he smirked the way everyone expected him to. He didn't know that across the courtyard, the girl he was supposed to ask out for laughs was fighting her own battles. Her name was Lila Hart, and she was the kind of quiet that made people overlook her until they needed answers, for homework or someone to borrow a pen from. She lived at the edges of hallways, moved gently and spoke softly, like someone who never wanted to take up more space than necessary. But what no one knew, what Ryan was about to discover, was that silence can carry storms. When he walked up to her, she did not look impressed or flattered or shy. She looked tired, the kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep but from life pressing too hard in too many places. And just like that, without understanding why, Ryan's rehearsed grin faltered. The words he had planned to say vanished. The dare, the laughter in the background, the cold wind, all of it slipped away as their eyes met. In that moment, something shifted in him. Something small, almost invisible, but powerful enough to change the course of the night. He told her he wanted to take her out. He expected confusion, maybe even surprise. Instead, she gave him a long look that cut deeper than he thought possible. It was a look that said she had seen boys like him before. Noisy, shallow, here today, gone tomorrow. She nodded quietly, agreeing without emotion, as if she had nothing left to lose by saying yes. Ryan didn't know it then, but that simple nod would haunt him. The next day, he waited for the amusement to return, for the excitement of telling his friends he had completed the dare. But every time he thought of bragging, Lila's tired eyes filled his mind. The joke didn't feel funny anymore. Something gnawed at him. He felt guilty, unsettled. For the first time in years, he felt like he had crossed a line. Their first date wasn't supposed to mean anything. He had taken her to a little bakery near the basketball courts. He expected awkward silence or maybe a chance to rush through the dare and go back to pretending he didn't care. But Lila surprised him. She talked, not much at first, but enough to reveal glimmers of who she really was. She loved books, the kind that healed broken parts of people. She loved sketching flowers because flowers didn't judge her for being quiet. She worked part-time in the evenings, helped her mother at home, and carried more responsibilities than most kids their age could imagine. For the first time in a long while, Ryan listened without pretending. He laughed, but not loudly. He felt something untangle inside him, something delicate and unfamiliar. When she smiled, truly smiled, it hit him like a punch. He wanted to protect that smile. But guilt has a cruel way of creeping back, and reality has a harsh way of reminding you who you really are. Ryan's friends demanded details, and he tried to brush them off. They teased him, nudged him, reminded him that Lila was just the dare girl. He snapped at them, something he never did, then walked off in anger he didn't fully understand. Slowly, he distanced himself from them, showing up late to hangouts, ignoring group chats he once lived in. His heart felt heavy in a way he wasn't used to, pulled towards someone he had barely known a week ago but felt impossibly connected to. Meanwhile, Lila kept her guard high. She liked him, he could tell, but there was a quiet hesitation in everything she did. She didn't trust easily. She didn't open doors unless she believed the person standing outside wouldn't break them. Ryan tried to be gentle, patient, and real, something he had never bothered to be for anyone else. He found himself walking her home after school, sometimes not speaking for long stretches because she didn't feel pressured to fill silence. He noticed how she tucked her hands into her sleeves when she was nervous, how she craned her neck toward the sky when she was overwhelmed, how her voice softened when she talked about dreams she didn't think she deserved. And then one evening, everything came crashing down. Lila found out about the dare. He didn't know how. He didn't know who told her. But when she confronted him near the school's old stairwell, her eyes were full of betrayal. It wasn't anger that broke him. It was the hurt. She whispered that she should have known, that boys like him didn't fall for girls like her, that she should have protected her heart better. Ryan tried to explain, but every excuse tasted bitter and hollow. She walked away and he didn't chase her, not because he didn't want to, but because she looked like someone who had been chased before and only ended up wounded. For days, she avoided him. She sat in different corners of the library, took different hallways, left school the moment the bell rang. Ryan felt the absence like a physical ache. He missed her voice, her quiet presence, the way she reminded him of a world that didn't revolve around popularity. He tried writing notes to her, apologies he tore up because they didn't feel good enough. He showed up outside her classroom hoping for a glance, but she walked past him as if he had never existed. The pain carved into him deeper than he expected, and for the first time in his life, he understood what it felt like to want something real, something he had already broken with his own hands. He wanted to quit basketball, quit pretending, quit everything that wasn't her, so he did the only thing he thought might show her the truth. He told everyone the dare wasn't funny. He told his team he was ashamed. He told his friends he wouldn't be part of their games anymore. Rumors spread quickly, and soon the whole school whispered about how Ryan Hayes, the boy who lived for attention, had thrown away his pride over a girl. Lila heard the whispers. She ignored them, or tried to. But late one afternoon, she saw Ryan sitting alone outside the art building, holding a small sketchbook she had once mentioned wanting but could never afford. He held it gently, as if it were something precious. When she approached, he stood up too quickly, as if just seeing her brought him to life again. He didn't beg. He didn't justify. He simply told her that the dare had started everything, but nothing after that moment was fake. He told her she had changed him without trying, without knowing, without asking. He told her he didn't want forgiveness. He wanted to be better, whether she came back to him or not. And something in Lila softened, not instantly, not dramatically, but enough for her to sit with him, enough for her to breathe without the shield she always carried. She opened the sketchbook slowly, touching the pages like they were healing old bruises. For the first time in weeks, she looked at him, not with hurt, but with sadness mixed with understanding. She told him she didn't need perfect, she just needed honesty. They didn't jump back into romance, they rebuilt slowly, like learning to trust the ground after a storm. They walked together after school again, sometimes talking, sometimes silent. Ryan introduced her to his mother, who adored her gentle spirit. Lila let him help her with her responsibilities, even though she hated burdening anyone. Little by little, the broken pieces formed something new. Not the old version of them, but something stronger. Months passed. Spring arrived. She began sketching again, and he found peace sitting beside her as she worked. He changed friend groups, worked harder in school, learned to apologize better, love softer, and listen deeper. And one warm April afternoon, weeks before graduation, Lila leaned her head on his shoulder for the first time since everything had fallen apart. Ryan didn't breathe for a moment. That small gesture, the trust behind it, meant more than any yes he had ever received in his life. If this story touched your heart even a little, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us create more stories that move souls. Before we end, please comment below, do you believe a broken beginning can still lead to something beautiful? In the end, Ryan realized that love doesn't always arrive wrapped in certainty. Sometimes it arrives disguised as a mistake, a dare, a moment you wish you could undo until you realize it's the very thing that made you who you are. And Lila, who once walked with her head down, learned that hearts can be fragile but still worthy of being chosen, fought for, and cherished. He asked her out as a dare, but he fell in love by accident. And sometimes accidents are the universe's way of rewriting your destiny.